Hello students, we are going to learn the concepts in relations. So in today's class we are going to learn about closures of relations, equivalence relation, partial ordered relations. So how we are going to represent the relation closures? If we want to represent an equivalence relation, what are the properties we need to satisfy? And for a partial ordered relation, how we are going to satisfy the partial order, we will see in the today's class. Suppose if we have an R as a relation on set A. So here for R relation, what are the properties we have, and for what properties we can apply closures? We will see now. So we have reflexivity, symmetry and transitivity. So for these three properties of relations we can apply closures. So now if there is a relation S with property P containing R. So here S is a relation with property P containing R such that S is a subset of every relation with property P. So here suppose if we have given a relation R, then in that if it is satisfying reflexive property or not, first we need to check. If it is not satisfying, so what is the subset ordered pairs we need to satisfy that as a reflexive relation, that we need to check here in closures. Suppose we have taken a reflexive property. In the same way, if we are taking a symmetric property to satisfy for the given relation R, so here first we need to check whether the given relation R satisfies symmetric property. If it is not satisfying, if we add which subset to that particular relation R, then it will make a symmetric property, we need to check. So that subset will satisfy the property of closures. Okay. See here, in checking the closures of relations, we have three closures: reflexive closure, symmetric closure and transitive closure. So first we will see reflexive closure. So here in reflexive closure, what we need to check means it is same as a reflexive property itself. So what is the property or what is the condition we are going to check in reflexive property? That is, if the ordered pair is in the form of A comma A, that means if both elements in the ordered pair should be same. And here those ordered pairs should belong to the given set A. So whatever the elements we have in a set A, for those all elements we should satisfy the reflexive property. So see here, a relation R on a set A satisfies the reflexive closure of R. How means? By adding to R all pairs of the form A comma A which belongs to set A. So here first we need to check the relation, given relation R, whether it is satisfying reflexive property. If it is satisfying, okay. If it is not satisfying, we need to add the pairs. See here, adding to R all pairs of the form A comma A. We need to add to R all pairs of the form which are in the reflexive combination based on the set elements of A. Those are not already in R. So we need to add the ordered pairs to form a reflexive property satisfying relation R. That means how we are going to get the reflexive closure means we need to add the ordered pairs which are not in R which satisfies the reflexive property. See here, the addition of these pairs produces a new relation that is reflexive, contains R. That means initially the given R is not satisfying the reflexive property. After adding these pairs which are not in R, that makes a relation, a new relation, and it satisfies reflexive property. For this is the syntax. That means here we need to check all the reflexive ordered pairs which belongs to the set A. Okay, see the example. Here we have taken an example relation, that is R equal to 1 1 1 2 2 1 3 2 and a set as 1 2 3. Okay, we have taken a relation R and then we have taken a set A. So here which is not reflexive, that means the taken relation is not reflexive. Why? Since in the set we have 3 elements like 1 2 3, but here in relation 1 comma 1 is there, but 2 comma 2 and 3 comma 3 ordered pairs are not in the relation R. So that's why it is not satisfying the reflexive property. So for that reason we need to form a reflexive closure. So what is reflexive closure? We need to add the ordered pairs which satisfy reflexive property and those are not in the relation R. See here, how can we produce a reflexive relation containing R that is as small as possible? So from this relation R, how can we form a new relation which satisfies reflexive property? For that, see here, since 1 1 is there, what are the remaining elements in set A? 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, which are reflexive pairs. Those are not in the given relation R. So by adding 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3 to relation R, then it forms a reflexive closure which satisfies reflexive property. So we are adding 2 comma 2 and 3 comma 3 to the relation R now. So that becomes R equal to 1 comma 1, that becomes 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1, 3 2, 2 2, 3 3. So this is a new relation R. So that will be represented. So here these are the existing ordered pairs and these two are the new ordered pairs which we have added to the relation R. That means these two ordered pairs we have added, and then after adding these two ordered pairs, the given relation satisfies reflexive property. So this is the relation R which satisfies reflexive property for the given relation R. So here reflexive closure means we need to add an ordered pairs which are not in the relation R which satisfies reflexive property. Then only we can say that it is satisfying reflexive closure. Okay, based on that you practice this problem. So next, see symmetric closure. How we are going to check the symmetric closure? So here also same technique we are going to use. In reflexive closure, which are the ordered pairs not reflexive ordered pairs not in the relation R, we are going to add those ordered pairs. In the same way, here in symmetric closure, which are the ordered pairs not satisfying or not in the relation R, the symmetric ordered pairs which are not in the relation R, those ordered pairs we need to add in the relation R. So here the symmetric closure of a relation R can be constructed by adding all ordered pairs of the form B comma A, where A comma B is in the relation that are not already present in R. So we have ordered pairs in the relation R that is in the form of A comma B. So for all those ordered pairs, if the B comma A formation is not in the relation R, those ordered pairs we are going to add in the relation R. Then it becomes a symmetric closure. So here this is a form which we are representing for symmetric closure. That means inverse. So here if the ordered pairs are in the form of A comma B, for those ordered pairs we are adding B comma A form. B comma A, already we have discussed B comma A form when we are writing a combination. If we have a ordered pair as A comma B and we are adding the ordered pair B comma A, means it is an inverse form of A comma B. That means it is nothing but an inverse relation. Already we have discussed. So here by adding the inverse form of the given ordered pairs, then we can form easily the symmetric closure for the given relation R. So see an example for this. Here an R is given, and here we need to check whether all the ordered pairs have the B comma A form. If the B comma A ordered form is not in this relation R, we need to add those ordered pairs in the relation R. See here 1 comma 1 is there. So if we change in B comma A also, it is the same form. So 1 comma 1 is already in the relation R, so we cannot change for that. So next ordered pair is 1 comma 2. So check whether 2 comma 1 is present in the relation R. So it is not in the relation R. So what is the ordered pair we need to add now here? 2 comma 1 should be added into this relation R. 2 comma 1 should be added. Next 2 comma 2. So since it is a reflexive pair, so 2 comma 2, if we can change also, it is the same form, so we no need to add again. Next 2 comma 3. So 3 comma 2 is already there in the relation R, so no need to add that. Next 3 comma 1 is there. So if you change that 3 comma 1 into B comma A form, that is 1 comma 3. So it is not in the relation R, so we need to add 1 comma 3. So these two ordered pairs we need to add to the relation R, then it becomes symmetric closure. So see here, by adding 2 comma 1 and 1 comma 3 to R, because there are the only pairs of the form B comma A with A comma B belongs to R that are not present in relation R. Only these two ordered pairs are not in the relation R, so we need to add these two ordered pairs into the relation R, then it becomes a symmetric closure for the given relation R. Okay. So now practice this problem based on the same concept. Okay. So now next we will see transitive closure. So here also we are going to apply the same procedure, but here somewhat complex to apply the same procedure here. See here, suppose that a relation R is not transitive. So the given relation R is not transitive. So how can we produce a transitive relation that contains R such that this new relation is contained with any transitive relation that contains R? That means here the given relation R is not satisfying the transitive property. We need to form a new relation which satisfies transitive property. So how we are going to do means, here can the transitive closure of a relation R be produced by adding all the pairs of the form A comma C where A comma B and B comma C are already in the relation. So only if we have A comma B, B comma C. Here if we add A comma C ordered pair which are not in the relation R, then directly whether it is forming transitive relation or not, we need to check that. See here, in transitive closure we have taken an example here as R. Here consider a relation R which is 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4, 2 comma 1, 3 comma 2. So check whether this relation R is transitive or not. So what is the transitive property we need to check here? If we have A comma B relation, that means A comma B belongs to relation R and B comma C belongs to relation R, then A comma C also belongs to the relation R. That means if these two ordered pairs present means A comma C also should belong to R. So here 1 comma 3 is there. So here how we are going to check means 1 comma 3. 1 comma 3 is there. So here the second element is 3. We need to check the ordered pair which starts with the second element, that is 3. So here A comma B, B comma C, the second element combination we are going to check. So this is the ordered pair 3 comma 2. Okay. So here what is the resultant ordered pair from this? 1 comma 2. So check whether 1 comma 2 is there. No. So we need to add this ordered pair. So next again Any element, any ordered pair again starting with 3? No other element. So we need to go for the next ordered pair, that is 1, 4. So 1, 4. Check whether the remaining ordered pairs which are starting with 4. No other ordered pair is there. So we cannot get any ordered pair from that. Next 2, 1. So the B element is here, the second element is 1. So 1, which are the ordered pairs starting with 1? These two. 1, 3, 1, 4. So here this becomes 2, so with this ordered pair if you write, we will get 2, 3. Okay. Next ordered pair 2, when we check with this ordered pair we will get 2, 4. Okay. With this the combination is finished. Next 3, 2. 3, 2. So here the second element is 2. We need to check which is the ordered pair starting with 2. So this is the ordered pair. So from this we will get 3, 1. Okay. So any other ordered pair we will get? No. So here check once, if we add these 4 ordered pairs to this relation R, whether it will be transitive. Check here. 1, 3. So 3, 1 is there. So 1, 3. So if you add this 3, 1. So if you consider these two ordered pairs, again we can apply transitive property. So here if you apply transitive property for this 1, 3 and 3, 1, we will get 1, 1, which is not in the relation R. So now from this new relation is 1, 3. Next 1, 4, 2, 1, 3, 2, and along with this the new ordered pairs 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 1. So from this again if we apply transitive property to check whether it is satisfying transitive property, here for these two ordered pairs we will get 1, 1, which is not in the relation R. That means we should understand that it is not getting the transitive it is not satisfying the transitive property after adding the pairs also. Again we need to do the transitive closure by applying for this. So we need to apply again transitive property for this relation R. See here, R is equal to, for these two ordered pairs if we check we will get 1, 1, that should be added. So that is 1, 1 is added for 1, 3 and 3, 1. Okay, these two ordered pairs are finished. Next, if you take this 1, 4, so any ordered pair which starts with 4? No. So we will directly write like this. 1, 4. So next 2, 1. So if you check with 2, 1, that means second element is 1. If you check starting here 1, 2 is there. So we will get 2, 2 here. So we are adding 2, 2. So 1, 1 we have added, 2, 2 we added. Next, any other element combination is there? 1, 2, where starting ordered pair is 2. Here this one is starting with 2. So we will get 1, 1. Already we have added, so no need. Next, here 1, 2, 2, 4. That means we will get 1, 4. So already we have 1, 4. So no need to add. So any other ordered pair is not present in the relation which starts with 2. So next again check with another ordered pair, that is 2, 3. So check the ordered pair which starts with 3. So here we have 3, 2. That means we will get 2, 2. So 2, 2 is already present in the relation R. Next 2, 3 means we will check with this ordered pair 3, 1. So we will get 2, 1. So it is already in the relation R. So no need to add. So next 2, 4. The next one is 2, 4. So here the ordered pair which starts with 4 we need to check. No other ordered pair is there. So we no need to add anything. Next one is 3 comma 1. So here when you check with this one ordered pair elements starting with 1, 3 comma 1 means we will get 3 comma 3. So no, it is not in the relation R. We need to add 3 comma 3 to the relation. So we again any other ordered pair is a 3 comma 1. So 1 comma 4. So again check with the next ordered pair which starts with 1 comma 4. So we will get here 3 comma 4. So we will get 3 comma 4. Next any other ordered pair which starts with 1, here 1 comma 2 is there. So we will get 3 comma 2. We have 3 comma 2 here in relation? No. So we need to add 3 comma 2. Next any other ordered pair which starts with 1? No. So this is the relation R. So check here whether it satisfies transitive property. So 1 comma 1, 1 comma 3. So here if you check here 2 comma 4, no ordered pair is there which starts with 4. That means here in the set we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we doesn't have any ordered pair which starts with 4. So again we need to check for the transitive property here. As of now it is satisfying transitive property. So again we need to check for the transitive property and again we need to add the pairs which are not in the relation R. So this is a complex procedure when you apply the adding of the pairs which are not in the relation R. So for this we can apply, we have many methods to apply. So one of the method which we can apply for transitive closure is Warshall algorithm. Okay. So as of now we doesn't have that concept, so we will move to the next concept. So here we have learned how we are going to apply the closures for the relations. So here compared to all the 3 closures, transitive closure is a complex one. So see here for the transitive closure we are checking all the properties which satisfies transitive property, and here whatever the ordered pairs which are not in the relation we are going to add. First we have added these ordered pairs and next we have added these 2 ordered pairs. So firstly we have added these ordered pairs which are not in the relation R. Again when you apply transitive property it is not satisfying the transitive property. So again which ordered pairs we need to add we are going to check, and we have added this 3 comma 4 ordered pair. So and then it becomes transitive property. That means it is satisfying transitive property, then the transitive closure is finished for the given problem. So here when compared to other closures, transitive closure is somewhat difficult to do. That means we need to do the continuous process to complete the closure for the given relation R. So now see the next concept, that is equivalence relation. So if any relation R is there, how we are going to check whether the given relation R is equivalence or not. So that means they will give a one relation which is R, not only R, any other relation. That means like S we can represent, P represent, we can represent, Q we can represent. Okay. So the given relation R satisfies equivalence or not, we need to check. For proving equivalence, what are the properties we need to check? Here, see here, a relation on a set A is called equivalence relation. A relation on a set A is called a equivalence relation if it satisfies 3 properties. What are those 3 properties? See here, reflexive, symmetric, transitive. If the relation R satisfies these 3 properties, then only we can say that the given relation R is satisfying equivalence. Okay. So here already we have discussed how we are going to check reflexive, symmetric and transitive. So here reflexive means for the elements which are in A should satisfy the reflexive form, that is A comma A. That means all the this A will be A belongs to all elements of the set A. So here the reflexive form we are checking is A comma A. That means whatever the elements we have in set A, for all those elements we need to check whether this form is there or not. If it is not there, it is not satisfying reflexive property. If any one of these three properties are not satisfying, we cannot say that it is satisfying equivalence relation. So if all these three properties are satisfied, then only we can say that the given R is satisfying equivalence relation. So here for reflexive we are checking reflexive form, and for symmetric we are checking if A comma B form exists in the relation R, then B comma A should also belongs to the relation R. This is also applicable for all the elements of the set A. Next, for applying transitive, for checking transitive, we will check if A comma B belongs to the relation R and B comma C belongs to the relation R, then along with these two, A comma C ordered pair should also belongs to the relation R. So if these two are present in R, then A comma C should also belongs to R. Then only we can say that it is satisfying transitive property. So based on this, we will see one example. See here, we have a set X equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and a relation R. For this, we need to check whether it is satisfying reflexive property, symmetric property and transitive property. Then only this R will be said as equivalence. See here, what is the question? For a relation R, prove that it is equivalence. We need to prove how it is satisfying equivalence. That means we need to show how it is reflexive, how it is symmetric and how it is transitive. See here. So here if we want to prove reflexive form, we need to check. See here, what are the elements we have in set A? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So what are the ordered pairs we need to check here for satisfying reflexive? 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 and 4, 4 is there. So that means all the elements which are in set X, those all are in the form of reflexive form. That means it is satisfying reflexive property. So for satisfying reflexive, we need to have 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4 which are present in relation R. Next, for satisfying symmetric property, see here 1, 1. 1, 1. If you reverse the form also, that means if you write the inverse form for this also, we will get the same. So no need to check for that. 1, 1 is there means B comma A form is also there in the relation R. Then 1, 4 is there. So next we need to check for this B comma A form, that is 4, 1 is present in the relation R or not. Check here whether 4, 1 is there. Yes, it is there. So here 4, 1 is there. Next, for 4, 1, already say we have checked this 1, 4 is there. So next move to the next ordered pair, that is 4, 4. So if you change to B comma A also, no change is there. So 4, 4 is there, 2, 2 is there. Next 2, 3. So see here, if here 2, 3, if you change it into the inverse form, it becomes 3, 2. Check here whether 3, 2 is there. So 3, 2 is present in the relation R. So 3, 2 is satisfied. Next 3, 3. So with this ordered pairs, the given R relation is satisfying symmetric property. Next, how we are going to check the transitive property? See here. First 1, 1 with this starting pair. So with 1, 1 we are checking with all the remaining ordered pairs. Okay. So here 1, 1. So how we are going to check? The second element of this ordered pair is 1. That means whatever the ordered pairs starting with 1 in the remaining relation R, that should be checked. Okay. So 1, 1 is checked with 1, 4. Okay. So here B element is removed. So we will get A, C as 1, 4. So 1, 4 is in relation R. So it is satisfying transitive for the first ordered pair. Next 1, 4 So here the initial A ordered pair is 1 comma 4 we have taken, and here the second element of that is 4. So whatever the ordered pair starting with 4 we need to check. That means we need to check 1 comma 4 with 4 comma 1 and then with 4 comma 4. So same here we are doing. 1 comma 4 is checked with 4 comma 1. So we will get 1 comma 1. Next 1 comma 4 is checked with 4 comma 4. Here we got 1 comma 4. These two ordered pairs are in the relation R. 1 comma 1 is there, 1 comma 4 is there. So these are satisfying transitive. Next 4 comma 1 we are taking. So these two ordered pairs are finished now. Next we need to check with this 4 comma 1. So we have checked these two. So now we need to check with 4 comma 1. So the second element is 1. We need to check the ordered pairs with initial elements which starting with 1. So these are the two ordered pairs. So 4 comma 1 is checked with 1 comma 1 and then 1 comma 4. See here. 4 comma 1 is checked with 1 comma 1 and we got 4 comma 1. Next 4 comma 1 is checked with 1 comma 4, we got 4 comma 4. Next again 4 comma 4 ordered pair which checks with the 4 ordered pairs which starts with 4. So only we have 4 comma 1. So we will check with this. We got 4 comma 1. So these are present these are already present in the relation R. Next one 2 comma 2. It will be checked with 2 comma 3. Only one ordered pair which starts with 2. So we got 2 comma 3 which is already in relation R. Next ordered pair is 2 comma 3 which checks with 3 comma 2. So here with the second element is 3 here. So we have 2 ordered pair which starts with 3. So we need to check with 3 comma 2 and 3 comma 3. So we have checked and we got these 2 ordered pairs which are already present in the relation R. And next 3 comma 2 will be checked with these 2 ordered pairs in with the same procedure which we have checked previously. And next 3 comma 3 will be checked with 3 comma 2. So 3 comma 3 will be checked with 3 comma 2. So here since all the ordered pairs are satisfying transitive and also symmetric, reflexive, this given relation R is equivalence. So the given relation R is equivalence. Okay, how we are going to check? Have you got the problem? Yes. So here for proving the equivalence relation, we need to check 3 properties: reflexive, symmetric and transitive properties. If these 3 properties are satisfied, then only we can say that the given relation R is equivalence. So now see for the second example. Here we have taken R as a relation and here we have taken the domain as set of real numbers such that A is in relation with B. And what we need to prove here, the relation is A minus B which is an integer value. So this is R an equivalence relation. Whether it is an equivalence relation or not, we need to check. So in the same procedure we need to check. First we need to check for reflexive, symmetric and then transitive. See here for checking reflexive. So here it is A minus B. So whatever the form, if it is a reflexive form means whether it is satisfying reflexive form or not, we need to check. Reflexive form means both the ordered pair elements are same. So here in the position of B also we are getting A here. So A minus A is equal to 0. So which is an integer value. So for all integer numbers, when you substitute the reflexive form, we got it is reflexive. That means A minus A is satisfied. So it is reflexive. Next, if we want to prove symmetric, see here. Suppose that A is in relation with B. That means what we need to check for symmetric? B is also in relation with A or not, we need to check. So here A minus B is the given relation. So if you do B minus A, which is also an integer value. So that means if A minus B is satisfying, B minus A is also satisfying for the integer values. So this is also symmetric. Next, for transitive. If same here, if a minus b is satisfying, b minus c is also satisfying for the integer values. If you take here a minus b and b minus c as integers, then when you take these two forms, what is the transitive form for this? A and c we will get, that is a minus c form. See here, for checking transitive, we have taken that a minus b as integer and b minus c as integer. B minus c as integer. So here when you take a minus c, here we need to check whether a minus c also is transitive or not. So here when you do this, a minus b plus b minus c, when you add this, you will get a minus c here. That means whether when a minus b is satisfying and b minus c is also satisfying, a minus c is also satisfying the for the integer values. So this is also satisfying. That means the a is in relation with c. So this is satisfying transitive property. So for the given relation a minus b, for integer values all these properties are satisfied. The given relation is equivalence relation. So now it is the time to take assignment for equivalence relation. So apply the same procedure for this relation R. So when you are proving this equivalence relation for this given relation R, follow this hint. So here, if the relation here, the condition is A is equivalence to B mod n. Here this symbol indicates equivalence. So see here, if we have a condition like this, how we are going to check means n divides a minus b. So here n value is dividing this a minus b value. So we need to write this form as n by a minus b. That means n value is dividing the a minus b value. So for this form, whether it is satisfying, reflexive, symmetric and transitive, we need to check. So for this problem, solve whether it is equivalence or not. Next we will check whether the given equivalence relation is having equivalence class or not. So sometimes they will ask, check whether the equivalence relation is having equivalence class or represent equivalence class for the relation. So how we are going to write means, here for any equivalence relation R on A, for A belongs to A. Here A is the elements belongs to set A. So the set, the equivalence class is represented with square braces and here the element. So whatever the elements we have in A, for all those elements we need to check for the equivalence class. Okay. So here for equivalence class, so we are finding now the equivalence class for the element A. So here that is X belongs to the set A, which is the ordered pair A comma X, which is in the relation R. That means whatever the ordered pair starting with A, that should be represented here in the equivalence class. So that will be called as equivalence class of A in the set A. That means the element A in set A. Okay. Next, see here the other definition. If any B belongs to equivalence class A, it is called as a representative of this equivalence class. So any other element which presents in this equivalence class, then we will call it as a representative of equivalence class. Okay. So now see the next concept, that is partial order relation. So already we have seen that we are going to discuss closures of relations, equivalence relation and then partial ordered relation. So in the previous concept we have checked whether the relation R is satisfying equivalence or not. Here in this concept we are going to check whether the relation R is satisfying partial ordered relation or not. See here, how we are going to check means, if the relation R satisfies reflexive, symmetric and transitive, then we will call it as equivalence relation. In the same way, when we call it as partial ordering, if it satisfies reflexive, anti-symmetric and transitive property. If the relation R satisfies these three properties, then only we can say that the given relation R is satisfying partial ordered relation. So here already we have discussed how we are going to check reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive. So by applying those properties, we need to find whether the R is partial ordered or not. See here, recall that properties. When we say that it is satisfying antisymmetric means if A comma B belongs to R and B comma A belongs to R, that means both combinations should be there, and along with that A equal to B should be satisfied. That means combination A equal to B means both the elements are same, A comma A. So here A equal to B should be satisfied. That means reflexive form is there. Does A comma A is allowed to be in R. That means the reflexive form will be allowed to present in the relation R. Then if we can say that it is satisfying antisymmetric property. Next, but since it is reflexive, all possible A comma A must be in R. So see here, what is the difference means, in reflexive all the ordered pairs which are in the set A, then all those for all those elements this form, reflexive form should be there, then only we can say that it is reflexive. But in case of antisymmetric, if some elements are there also, we can say that it is antisymmetric. But here, since we are also checking reflexive here, it should satisfy. Reflexive means all those ordered pairs will be present in the relation with a partially ordering relation R. If the set S is satisfying a partially ordered properties in R, then we call it as partially ordered set or poset, which will be denoted by S comma R. So here S is a set and here R is a relation. This is an example for partial ordering relation. How we are going to check? So see here, this is the problem. Show that greater than or equal to is a partial order on the set of integers. That means this is satisfying partial ordered relation or not, we need to check for the set of integer values. So here set of integers is the domain here. So see here, this is the solution. So if you want to check for partial ordered relation, what are the properties we need to check? Reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive property. So first we will check reflexive. If A is greater than or equal to A, that means here A is equal to A, that means it is satisfying. The condition is true here. Then it is true for all the integer values. That means it is satisfying reflexive property. Here the condition is true, then it is satisfying reflexive property. In the same way, it is antisymmetric. If A greater than or equal to B, then the only way that B greater than or equal to A is when B equal to A. That means suppose if you have taken A greater than or equal to B, so this will be possible only when B greater than or equal to A and B equal to A. Then only the antisymmetric property will be satisfied. It is same as antisymmetric property. What we have learned there, A comma B belongs to R, B comma A belongs to R, then A equal to B should be satisfied. So here we are applying the same property here. If A greater than or equal to B, that means this condition is true, then B greater than or equal to A should be true, and then B equal to A should also be satisfied. Next, it is transitive. If A greater than or equal to B and B greater than or equal to C, then only A will be greater than or equal to C. See here, A is greater than or equal to B, B is greater than or equal to C. That means the comparison procedure is satisfying. A is greater than B, B is greater than C. That means we can get A is greater than or equal to C. That means by checking this form, we can say that A is greater than or equal to C, because B value is less than A and C value is less than A. So here this condition is satisfied, A greater than or equal to C. That means from these two combinations we will get A greater than or equal to C. That means the condition is satisfying. So we can say that transitive property is satisfied. Since reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive properties are satisfied for the given relation R, that is greater than or equal to condition, it is partial ordered relation. Since greater than or equal to is satisfying, see here, greater than or equal to will be called as a partially ordered relation for the set of integers. That means if you apply greater than or equal to for a domain of set of integers, then for all the values it will satisfy partially ordered relation. For that we can say that for integers, so how we are going to represent integers? With Z symbol. So that's why we are representing the ordered pair Z comma greater than or equal to. So this is whole called as a poset. So Z comma greater than or equal to is called as a partially ordered set, or shortly we can call it as poset. Comparable versus incomparable. So here if you take a set of elements in a poset, so here the elements A and B of a poset S comma less than or equal to. In the previous example we have seen that greater than or equal to is satisfying partially ordering for all the set of integers. So here if you take less than or equal to here, which are called comparable, if either A less than or equal to B or B less than or equal to A. So then only we can say that those are comparable. When A and B are elements of S such that neither A less than or equal to B or B less than or equal to A are incomparable. So here only two cases. If this less than or equal to is satisfying for this A less than or equal to B and B less than or equal to A, if it is satisfying we can say that it is comparable. If it is not satisfying for these forms, then we can say that those are incomparable. So see the example for this in the poset Z plus. So here these are the positive integers. So here Z indicates integers and here plus indicates positive integers. Only we are considering positive integers, and here we have taken the condition as divides symbol. And we need to check for this poset whether the integers 3 and 9 are comparable or 5 and 7 are comparable. So we need to check 3 and 9 are comparable and 5 and 7 are comparable or not. So for this, first we have taken 3 and 9. That means what is the operation we need to perform here? Divides operation. So here, so 3 divides 9. 3 and 9 are comparable. That means since the condition is satisfied, 3 and 9 are comparable. When you check 5 and 7 or 7 and 5, no possibility is there. That means we cannot divide these numbers with 5 and 7. The divides operation is not satisfied. So these two are incomparable. So here 3 and 9 we can compare. We can divide, we can perform divides operation. We can say that 3 and 9 are comparable. When we come to the second example, that is 5 and 7, those two are incomparable. This is called as a Hayes diagram, which we can draw particularly in case of partially ordered sets. So here the Hayes diagram which can be constructed in case of partially ordering relations. See here, for any partially ordered relation, if we have a finite set, it is possible to draw the directed graph. If we have a finite set, that is a limited number of elements, then we can draw a directed graph from that. That directed graph will be called as Hayes diagram in case of partially ordering relation. So see here how we are going to draw the Hayes diagram. So these are the steps we are going to follow. First we need to start a directed graph for the given relation R in which all arrows point upward. That means the direction of the graph should be from downward to upward. Then eliminate the loops at all the vertices. First we need to draw the directed graph starting from downwards. That means the direction should be, so directed graph, that means from downwards first node will be present, and then by showing the upward direction, that means we need to specify the arrow in upward, and then we need to draw the remaining elements in the graph. So here, after representing this, here when you are representing the directed graph, there is a chance to get loops also. So here this is a node 2, there is a chance to get loops here in the directed graph. So as a second step, we need to remove the loops for the vertices. Next, all arrows whose existence is implied by the transitive property. That means if we are representing from A to B, again B to C we are representing. That means A to C we are going to represent that all arrows whose existence is implied by the transitive property, the direction indicators on the arrows. We need to represent the arrows there. So see here, we will see with one example. So here we have taken set 1, 2, 3, 4 less than or equal to. So here this is the set S and this is the relation R. For this set we need to check with relation R, that is less than or equal to. For this 1, 2, 3, 4 and less than or equal to, how we are going to draw the Hayes diagram means, first we need to construct first A cross B first, that is a Cartesian product for the set. Okay, so here the Cartesian product is 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, and next 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. Next 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4. Next 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4. So these are the Cartesian product ordered pairs. From this ordered pairs, we need to check whether this less than or equal to condition is satisfied or not. Only the ordered pairs which satisfies this less than or equal to condition, only those ordered pairs we are going to consider in the relation R. So now from this the R will become, now see here, if you apply less than or equal to for this 1 less than or equal to 1, so that means equal to condition is there, that means both are same, so this will be present in the relation R. Next 1, 2, that is 1 less than or equal to 2, that means this is satisfied, that means 1 is less than 2 only, so this ordered pair will be present. Next 1, 3, since the condition is satisfied, 1, 3 will be there, 1, 4 will be there. So when you get here 2, 1, that means 2 less than or equal to 1. So 2 is not less than 1. So 2, 1 will not be there in the relation R. Next 2, 2. So since it is equal, it will be present in the relation R. 2, 3. 2 is less than 3 only. So this will be present. Next 2, 4 is also satisfied. Next 3, 1, which is not satisfying the condition, it will not present in the relation R. Next 3, 2, it is also not satisfying. So 3, 3 will be there, 3, 4 will be there. Next 4, 1 will not satisfy, 4, 2 will not satisfy, and then 4, 3 also not satisfy. So 4, 4 will be there in the relation R. So now only the corrected elements, the corrected ordered pairs which we have represented, only those ordered pairs will present in the relation R. So here what we are saying here is we need to take the relation R from this set which satisfies less than or equal to condition only. So only those ordered pairs we will take. So see here how we are going to draw the Hayes diagram for this relation R. So first, what is the ordered pair? 1, 1 is there. So initially we have taken a node like this, node which will be represented with a small circle which will be filled. Okay, this is a node 1. So here 1, 1 means it is a reflexive pair. Already we have said that in directed graph, if it is a reflexive pair, it should be represented with a loop. So here we have represented with a loop with direction. Okay, next ordered pair is 1 comma 2. So from 1 we need to draw an edge with a direction. So we have drawn like this. Next, from 1 to 3. So from 1 to 3 we have drawn. Next, 1 comma 4. 1 comma 4 we have drawn. Next, 2 comma 2. That means at 2 node we are drawing a self loop. Next, 2 comma 3. From 2 we are representing. Next, 2 comma 4. Next, 3 comma 3 self loop. Next, 3 comma 4. Next, last one is 4 comma 4. So we have drawn the directed graph for the given relation R. That means it is same as digraph. That is directed graph. So this is the first step. We have drawn a directed graph for the relation R. So what is the second step? We need to remove all the reflexive ordered pairs. That means we need to remove the self loops here. So here wherever we have self loops 1, 2, 3, 4, we are removing those self loops and representing a dark dot here. That means it indicates whenever we are representing a dots like this in partial ordered relation like Hayes diagram, it represents that it is having a loop. So here in the second we are removing loops here, and all the transitive pairs are represented. So here after this second step, what we are doing is we need to remove all the transitive edges which are present in the relation R. That means see here 1 to 2 we have drawn, and again from 1 to 3, 1 to 4. That means we need to check whenever we are connecting like this, whether we need to check from 2 to 3 an edge is there or not, 2 to 4 an edge is there or not. If there is an edge, we can draw like this. Otherwise, we can separately represent the edge for the Hayes diagram. So since from 1 to 2 connection is there, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, we are connecting directly. When you are connecting this directly, we need to check whether 2 to 3, 2 to 4 connection is there, 3 to 3, 4 to 4 connection is there. Then only we can draw like this. Otherwise, we need to specify separately the edges from 1 to 4. Okay. So this is the Hayes diagram.